Chapter 39, Conclusion. The Conduct and Vows of Samantabhadra. Taisho T10, number 293, fascicle 40. Translated under imperial auspices by the Tang dynasty, Tripitaka Master Prajna from the state of Kashmir. English translation by Bhikshu Dharmamitra. At that time, after Samantabhadra Bodhisattva Mahasattva had praised the supreme qualities of the Tathagata, he spoke to the Bodhisattvas and Sudana, saying, "Son of good family, if all Buddhas of the 10 directions were to continuously expound upon the meritorious qualities of the Tathagata, doing so for kalpas as numerous as the atoms in an ineffable number of Buddha gestras, they would still be unable to come to the end of them. If one wishes to perfect these gateways to the meritorious qualities, then one should cultivate 10 kinds of vast practices and vows. What then are those 10? They are as follows. The first is to revere all Buddhas. The second is to proclaim the praises of the Tathagata. The third is to extensively cultivate the making of offerings. The fourth is to repent of karmic obstacles. The fifth is to rejoice in others' merit. The sixth is to request the turning of the Dharma wheel. The seventh is to request the Buddhas to remain in the world. The eighth is to always follow the Buddha's course of training. The ninth is to constantly accord with beings. And the 10th is to universally dedicate all merit." Sudana then addressed him, asking, "O great Arya, what is meant by revering all Buddhas and so forth, up to and including universally dedicating all merit?" Samantabhadra Bodhisattva addressed Sudana, saying, "Son of good family, as for what is meant by revering all Buddhas through the power of Samantabhadra's practices and vows, I arouse deep, resolute faith in all the Buddhas, all the Bhagavats, as numerous as the atoms in all Buddha gestras of the 10 directions and 3 periods of time throughout the Dharma realm and the realms of space. And then, as if they were right before my very eyes, with pure actions of body, speech, and mind, I always cultivate bowing down in reverence to them all, manifesting before every one of those Buddhas bodies as numerous as the atoms in an ineffable number of Buddha gestras. With each of those bodies, I shall everywhere bow down in reverence to Buddhas as numerous as the atoms in an ineffable number of Buddha gestras. Only when the realms of space come to an end will my bowing in reverence to them then come to an end. However, because the realms of space can never end, my bowing in reverence to them has no end. I shall continue in this way until the realms of beings come to an end, until beings' karmic actions come to an end, and until beings' afflictions come to an end. Only then will my bowing in reverence to them come to an end. However, because the realms of beings and so forth up to and including their afflictions are all endless, my bowing down in reverence to them will have no end. It continues on in each successive mind moment without interruption, free of any weariness in the actions of body, speech, or mind. Again, son of good family, as for what is meant by proclaiming the praises of the Tathagata, in every one of the atoms throughout all Buddha gestras of the 10 directions and the 3 periods of time to the very end of the Dharma realm and the realm of space, there are Buddhas as numerous as the atoms in all worlds. In every place where there are Buddhas, they are all surrounded by an oceanic congregation of bodhisattvas. With extreme deep conviction and directly manifest knowledge and vision, in the presence of each of them, I shall bring forth faculties of the tongue surpassing even those of the goddess Saravati's marvelous tongue. Each one of those tongues shall send forth an inexhaustible ocean of voices, And each one of those voices shall send forth an ocean of all words and phrases, proclaiming the praises of all Tathagata's oceans of meritorious qualities. They shall do so until the very exhaustion of the bounds of future time, doing so continuously and without interruption throughout the Dharma realm, having no place they do not pervade. I shall continue in this way until the realms of space come to an end, until the realms of beings come to an end, until beings' karmic actions come to an end, and until beings' afflictions come to an end. Only then will my praises come to an end. However, because the realms of space and so forth up to and including beings' afflictions are all endless, these praises of mine will have no end. They continue on in each successive mind moment without interruption, free of any weariness in the actions of body, speech, or mind. Again, son of good family, as for what is meant by extensively cultivating the making of offerings, in each of the atoms throughout all Buddha gestras of the 10 directions and 3 periods of time to the very end of the Dharma realm and realms of space, there are Buddhas as numerous as the atoms in all worlds. In every place where there are Buddhas, they are surrounded by an oceanic congregation of many different kinds of bodhisattvas. Through the power of the practices and vows of Samantabhadra, I arouse deep, resolute faith, and directly manifest knowledge and vision, with which I make offerings to all of them of supremely marvelous offering gifts, namely flower clouds, garland clouds, heavenly music clouds, heavenly canopy clouds, heavenly apparel clouds, and clouds of various kinds of heavenly scents, including perfumes, burning incenses, and powdered incenses, with each of the clouds, such as these, being the size of Sumeru, the king of mountains. I light many different kinds of lamps, including butter lamps, oil lamps, and all kinds of fragrant oil lamps. The wicks of each of these lamps is as large as Mount Sumeru, and the oil of each of these lamps is like the waters of a great ocean. Using all kinds of offering gifts such as these, I constantly make offerings. Son of good family, among all the kinds of offerings, the offering of Dharma is supreme, including, for instance, the offering of cultivating in accordance with what was taught, the offering of benefiting beings, the offering of gathering in beings, the offering of substituting for beings and taking on their sufferings, the offering of diligently cultivating roots of goodness, the offering of never forsaking the bodhisattva's works, and the offering of never abandoning the bodhi resolve. Son of good family, when compared with the merit of but a single mind moment of Dharma giving, the measureless merit from making all the aforementioned kinds of offerings would not amount to even 100th part, 1,000th part, a single part in 100,000 kotis of nayutas of parts, a single part in a kala of parts, a single part in the greatest amount reached through calculation, enumeration, or analogy, or to even a single part in an Upanishad of parts. And why is this so? This is because all Tathagatas venerate the Dharma, because cultivating in accordance with what was taught gives birth to all Buddhas, because if bodhisattvas practice making offerings of Dharma, they thereby succeed in making offerings to the Tathagata, and because cultivating in this manner is what constitutes the true making of offerings. I continue this vast practice of making the most excellent kinds of offerings until the realms of space come to an end, until the realms of beings come to an end, until beings' karmic actions come to an end, and until beings' afflictions come to an end. Only then will my making of offerings come to an end. However, because the realms of space and so forth, up to and including beings' afflictions, can never end, these offerings of mine are also endless. They continue on in each successive mind moment uninterrupted and free of any weariness in the actions of body, speech, or mind.